Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily HUD, where we bring you the latest updates in esports and gaming. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Dom. Today we're going to be recapping the Rainbow Six Pro League before digging into the results of the Fortnite World Cup Warmup that happened over this past weekend. Plus, we've got Hearthstone, Formula 1, Rocket League, and of course, a little bit more action to close us out at the end of the day. But hey, that's not all. If you send us your highlight reel, we will review it at the end of the week. We want to see what awesome action you folks at home can create. Of course, the link to that will be below in the description. We can't wait to see what you folks at home are going to make for us.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
What highlight reel are you going to be submitting?
Actually, you know, I'm going to be interested in a little bit of Fortnite. I think that's probably going to be my submission.
Are you just going to submit the chicken dinner or the like drop into immediate getting killed?
Mostly drop.
Okay.
I'm really good at dropping, so it's going to do great.
If there's one skill that you need to focus on, that's probably the one, because you're guaranteed to drop at least every game. You may
and
not
I
get
say
the chicken
thank
dinner.
You.
Yes,
I think it's
of
really
course.
important to say thank you.
You got to be kind to your
all
fellow
the
gamers.
time,
But hey,
even if you're online.
Let's get into our excitement.
Okay, so that's aside. Let's get into it. Last night we saw some more Rainbow Six excitement. We saw Accelerate Gaming challenge Rise Nation. Rogue went head-to-head against Space Station Gaming, and finally Evil Geniuses clashed with Dark Zero Esports. Our first set opened up with Accelerate challenging Rise Nation, which went the distance and set the pace of the day with some long matches. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Rise Nation won their round 7-5. Our second match had Rogue versus Space Station Gaming, ending with a tie, but ultimately, we want to talk about Evil Geniuses against Dark Zero, because this match saw Evil Geniuses rising back to the top. Ultimately, EG took the series, winning and claiming first place by taking out Dark Zero, but it was a slog of a match. If you could pretty clearly see the fatigue getting to the players, and ultimately, with the point differential distributed by the end of the day, Space Station and all teams below them in the standings have found themselves eliminated from the chance and the postseason in Milan, unfortunately. That said, there are only 2 spots open, and currently teams vying for those spots are Evil Geniuses, Dark Zero, and Reciprocity. They're all in touching distance, but according to points, there still exists a scenario where by the end of the week, we could have the 3 teams tied for first place in points, which could come down to a very interesting tiebreaker. Yeah. Do you have a vote there? Evil Geniuses, Dark Zero?
I'm familiar with Evil Geniuses from their time in League of Legends way back in the day. The old EG organization, I even remember EG Crepo way back in the day for League of Legends. So I'm familiar with the organization. So that's kind of who I'm rooting for, just because it's familiar. But looking at these tiebreakers overall, it's the sort of scenario where there's a 10% chance that this team evens up, and then you have 1, 2, and a third team all lined up even in points, where A beats B, B beats C, and C beats A, so you don't really know, and you have to have a mini tournament before you get to the actual final tournament with all the seeding. Why don't they just have the tournament in the first place? Like roll a dice, flip a coin, or flip the dice. I don't know at this point.
Well, I guess that's just a little bit fair maybe for these 3 teams, so you don't have like a first, second, third. Everybody's vying for that first place spot.
Well, how do you determine who to put into semifinals right away? If they're all completely random and 3 of them could get in and there's only 2 spots, how do you determine that last spot?
Maybe with the tiebreaker. I guess we'll have to see.
It. That's what we're going to be looking at, though.
Looking to Fortnite, the World Cup Warmup wrapped up this weekend. While the official event was not broadcast, the replays have been made available, so anyone can dig in and try their hand at building their own Fortnite broadcast. The competition had a prize pool of $500,000, and anyone above a certain rating could join. On Sunday, the top 1,500 players from Saturday's match competed in a mini tournament to decide who deserves to be on top.
Now, all of this, though, serves as a precursor for the Fortnite World Cup and the Fortnite Online qualifiers, which are set to kick off this coming weekend. We're going to have 10 weeks of qualifier tournaments, each featuring a $1 million prize pool. That's $10 million over 10 weeks. Top 100 solo players and the top 50 duos will then be invited to compete in the World Cup Finals, happening in July 26th. Now, this one's the real deal, with a total of $30 million in prize money, guaranteeing at least $50,000 to each player just for reaching that stage, just for participating. Now, the solo champion is set to receive a staggering $3 million. We've been talking about prize money in esports for a long time, and while Dota 2 and StarCraft have long dominated prize earnings in esports, Fortnite is about to change the game in a few short months, and this is a way to do it. I mean, if you're coming into, I believe this is their second competitive year, they did have a World Cup last year, with $30 million and immediately breaking every record, where do you go in 2020? What do you do after this? What would you do if you were running Epic Games and you have $30 million in 2019? What do you do in 2020?
I don't know. I guess build more maps, build more locations. I don't know, build more quests.
That's actually not a bad idea. We just have the finals on the battle bus, a real life battle bus. We take I don't know, an A330 or something and fly it around and have the player, a real life Fortnite, have the players drop out and play real battle royale. I think they made a movie about that. Way back in like the 90s or something in Japan called Battle Royale. Maybe. Or not.
That seems to be the genre that everybody's moving into these days, the Battle Royale. I guess that's the next move, right?
Yeah, well, we've got Fortnite, we've got PUBG, who started off the whole thing, we've got Apex Legends, Call of Duty is even getting in, Battlefield is announcing their own, should be coming out relatively soon, I believe. Speaking of Call of Duty, by the way, new map did just drop for you PC and Xbox players. It was available on PS4, I want to say, a few days ago, about a week ago, but it now should be accessible to everyone, so the patch finally released that.
Okay, yeah, I mean, well, it's popular in pop culture. As you're saying, there was a Japanese video, and then Gerard Butler, do you recall?
Oh my gosh, was that video game movie where he was like a person and you could like drive other people in video games? Yes. What's
the name of that?
I want to say it was like The Gamer or something, Battle Royale Gamer. I don't know. I just remember watching that movie and being like, I wish it were real, but I also wish this movie were better.
So yeah, let's do a part 2. Let's do a Battle Royale.
Exactly. We'll get a sequel. We'll call up Gerard Butler on the line and talk a little bit about that.
Come and visit us, Gerard.
Now, looking back towards Fortnite a little bit more, I do want to talk about spectating in Fortnite because, again, with all our attention on Battle Royale, something that nobody has really figured out how to do yet is how to spectate Battle Royales well. In regular shooters like CSGO, it's very easy because you follow perspectives, you have a clear idea of a map which is relatively small that everyone can get to know. In Battle Royale, the map is always changing because the play area determines where you focus on.
Okay, and speaking of Fortnite, do we know our official winner? Do we know who's coming out on top? Because apparently
we don't.
This wasn't broadcast.
Yeah, so again, the announcement for the tournament was 3 days before the weekend. It dropped on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then the tournament happened and people were saying, oh, check the standings, check your region, but we couldn't find the information anywhere.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see who claims the $500,000.
Yeah, so we do know that it was split into multiple regions. There's North America East and West, there's Oceania. I want to say there's also a South America, might be a LATAM
There's got to be
tournament.
Swedish, London, of course,
exactly.
representing.
Specific countrywide tournaments as well. But we don't know who won.
Yeah.
The replays are all available, and you can download them and check the Google Drive.
I welcome all of you to just look through all of those replays for me so that we can find out who actually won this game.
We ain't got time for that.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have time for that.
But there's a lot of footage to sift through for all the rest of that. But hey, that's not all the rest of our news for today.
Exactly. So in other news, Hearthstone expansion Rise of Shadow drops today. The expansion had a pre-release similar to previous expansions in which you were able to play with cards at the fireside gathering near you. But for those of you antisocial gamers who mute the other players' emotes, seriously, who does that? I mean, come on, that's the whole point, right? The expansion drops in full today. This also marks the first simultaneous launch of a new expansion, as everyone across the globe will get access to the cards at the exact same time. None of this rolling release stuff, I'm sick of that. In addition to lock keys and schemes, the expansion will also add a new spell mechanic in Twin Spell, which creates a duplicate of the spell you can just cast in your hand. Without repeating mechanic, of course.
Yeah, because if you repeat the twin spell mechanic, then you get into recursion, and the first thing you need to know about recursion is that the first thing you need to know about recursion is that the first thing you need to know about recursion is
and again and again, and it just keeps looping.
Exactly.
So I can't wait to see you folks and see what arenas as I stress test some new decks on my way to Legend. Not to mention this mysterious secret plan listed on the Rise of Shadows launch page. Hopefully with the launch of the game, we'll get insight into what those devious villains at Blizzard are planning.
Yeah, if you scroll down onto the page, it's still got a secret plan listed near the bottom side. It should, by the time of filming, the expansion should have dropped by now. I checked it just before we went online. Still don't know what's going on. So this is the expansion about all the villains coming back. I don't know what they're planning, but hopefully it could be exciting.
Just announced last week, Formula One Esports has started its first online qualifier last night, in which anyone with a copy of an F1 2018 could join and compete. This will be the first of 3 qualifiers, so there are plenty of chances for racers to get their pedals to the metal. This round of qualifiers will run for 12 more days, and after the other 2, we'll get the full race off on the 27th of May. The coolest part? You can play on any console you've got, PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. For you, what's your preference?
I'm a PC guy.
Okay.
You can do anything. You can mod. Oh man, Master Race right there. And you can even get like I know you can also do this on PlayStation and Xbox. You can get the wheel and the pedals down on the bottom, so you can really immerse yourself.
I'm
in
just
the
a little
driving
happy
experience.
with PlayStation.
Yeah?
I like to just keep it just basic, you know?
Important question. When you're racing, do you lean with the controller?
Yeah, well, I mean, if I have to jump, my feet sweat. If I have to get somewhere.
You did mention that. Why do you? That's such an interesting thing.
Actually feel and put on a VR, give me a VR, and I'm just I can't even handle heights. Literally, my hands are sweating right now just thinking about it.
Well, sweat, hand sweat is totally a normal thing. Like when playing on mouse and keyboard and controllers.
Right, because you're so into the game, of course. But no, my feet are sweating. I'm scared. I feel like I'm actually gonna fall.
That was the big sell of modern generation consoles. What they have the ergonomic grip controllers, so you can yes, but so that you could sweat and not drop your controllers, which is a real problem here in Miami.
Right, exactly.
It's really hot.
It's a little humid. You gotta put that, but careful of the power bill.
If you're just constantly sweating in the controllers. Anyways, in
other
racing news, the race is on for first place in Rocket League. That's right, the RLCS is back with season 7 kicking off on April 6th. The RLCS will feature 5 weeks of matches to lead up to the RLCS regional qualifiers, and after that, the RLCS finals. From North America, the top 2 teams will automatically advance to the grand finals, set to take place in June. However, before that, we still need to crown a winner in North America. The regionals are set to occur sometime starting in early May.
Well, I'm really excited for that. I'll mark it on my calendars this coming May. And other Rocket League news, Psyonix has recently announced a revenue sharing model set to coincide with the opening of a new esports shop in-game, in which all things purchased will in some way provide revenue to the teams. Very interesting. That's good. Make those extra dollars. Rocket League joins Rainbow Six, PUBG, and League of Legends alongside many other esports to take up the revenue sharing model. With Spanish football club FC Barcelona sponsoring the RLCS Team Savage, RLCS is looking to achieve one of their most memorable seasons to date. How interesting.
Yeah.
So the football...
It's taken so long to get the revenue sharing model in Rocket League overall. I mean, we've been talking about revenue sharing for so long. We talked about Rainbow Six, League of Legends, PUBG, all follow in revenue sharing. And what that basically means is that fans, viewers, can buy things from the teams, like a jersey or a specific cosmetic in-game item, and part of that money goes to the teams.
So similar to like football fans.
Exactly, yeah. So, for example, we talked about FC...
Football we're talking about.
Yes, football.
Yes. So
FC Barcelona.
Yeah, they're sponsoring this.
Yeah, they're sponsoring one of the teams.
One of the teams, great.
So that means that if you go into the esports shop and you buy a Savage cosmetic, then part of that money goes back to Team Savage. And I imagine then a part of that money also goes back to FC Barcelona. It depends on the nature of their relationship.
So they're taking their model of, kind of creating some funds and applying it to their esports. How do you think that's going to take off? Do you think it's going to work?
Well, I mean, people have been asking for it for a really long time.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, traditional sports does it all the time.
Right.
If you're a fan of I'm new to Miami. What's a Miami team?
Oh my
The
gosh, well,
Dolphins?
with soccer.
The Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins is a football
Yeah.
team, but we watch
There's the
football
Heat as well.
Americano
Football.
around here.
Yes.
Yeah, we
but
do.
If you're a fan of like Miami Heat,
Yeah.
and you buy a jersey, part of that money goes to the people who make the jersey, but a lot of that money doesn't go to the NBA, it goes to Miami Heat.
Like
because
perhaps
they're the Heat.
David Beckham, who's starting his own team
With the
here
Miami
in
Heat?
Miami.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Football. Again, on
Football.
football. Soccer.
Yes.
Soccer, we like to call it soccer.
Not non-American football, regular football.
Yes,
global
football. Yeah, it's a
because,
very
of
big
course,
thing.
We have to come up with different names.
Especially in this city, like it's so international. Everybody loves to wear their team
Yeah.
that they love, and so why not esports? Why not expand?
Well,
to
with
esports?
revenue sharing, the ideal is that you see Cloud9s and TSMs.
So,
And-
what team would you represent? What would you call your team if you could have your own team here to, sell some swag?
If I had to come up with something, it would probably be something wacky like Butts and Sons.
You mean BUTTS?
Well, sure, yes.
Or-
and the
or
logo would be like
perhaps
an actual butte
A
going
butte.
down.
Okay,
It would be
butte.
like a silhouette.
Like a
kind of
sierra.
like a Black
Like a
Mesa,
sierra on the
perhaps a little bit.
horizon.
Exactly.
No, a
yeah.
butte.
Wait, are you shilling your own name for my team?
I'm just saying, I mean, sierra means, you were looking out over a butte.
I can let you do that if you give me, or if you buy half stake of Butts and Sons.
Well, I'll buy half stake if I am the logo.
Okay, but then what is the logo?
My butte.
Your buttes on the logo?
Sierra Butte.
Exactly. Okay. And are we talking like against a sunset, palm trees in the background?
Yeah,
or-
sunset, the
Yeah.
little mountains. Yeah, a
okay.
sierra.
I can see that selling
Yeah.
well. If you're interested in supporting Butts and Sons, feel free to head on over to our Twitter to find more information for that. But again, revenue sharing is so exciting because we are getting a chance to see the growth of these teams and leagues. I mean, we're already watching esports start to compete with viewership for MLB, NHL, pretty much everything except for football. And I think even then, we're projected to overtake football as a whole by like 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, no, it's really fantastic hearing you talk to me about that because I didn't realize how many people wanted to support their team, how many teams are out there. And, if you're getting paid to kind of do what you love and you're getting the support of, the Football League Barcelona, then that's great. That's great.
And of course, if you do want to support this show and help us talk more about esports
or about your team, we want to hear about your team and what you've been up to. Definitely.
Exactly.
Send us your videos, definitely.
Your highlight reels.
You are invited.
Our show.
Yes.
We talk about them.
Would you like me to? I would
It's gonna
love
be
to
awesome.
talk about
Yes.
your win or loss. Either way, I'm
Okay,
supportive.
what would you prefer? Would you prefer like funny clips where people
Yes.
are like, oh, this ridiculous thing
No.
happened? Or would you get like intense, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's gonna do the thing?
I kind of want bloopers. I kind of want bloopers.
We are
I'm
a
big
walking
fan of
blooper reel.
We are.
I don't
Yeah.
really
no.
think that we need more bloopers at this point.
Or
Hopefully-
worst fails. Maybe if you really one up another team,
Okay.
film it, send it to us.
Yeah.
Let's watch
Highlight
it.
reels, blooper reels, and that's how we're gonna flesh out this a little bit more.
Yeah.
I do want to come back to Fortnite though, because
Okay,
we're talking
okay.
about
Let me
people
know.
sending footage.
Yeah, right. And so I have not seen any. Who's the winner? Who won?
We don't.
I really don't know.
No.
Who won the warm-up?
Yeah, the replays were posted online a few days ago. However,
Just
they're
replays.
split
There's
off
no
by region.
highlights?
So I mean, if you were played in the tournament, you also had your own perspective probably rolling, because if you play Fortnite, you're probably streaming it.
Okay.
So
self-promotion. Lots
Exactly,
of
yeah,
self-promotion.
yeah. But it really did kind of seem like Epic Games was a little unprepared, perhaps, for this tournament.
all right.
Again, they announced a $500,000 prize pool tournament.
Huge.
Anyone can participate.
$500,000. That's college debt gone. That's huge.
I'm gonna start playing Fortnite. 3 days, 3 days before it. And then the tournament happens. Then they said, yeah, we're also not broadcasting it. Here are the replays, go make things. It really seems like all their attention is on the weekly qualifiers, which are
Okay.
set to start this weekend.
Okay.
Each of which feature $1 million prize pool. And presumably a
better.
similar format and structure, just with a broadcast, hopefully.
Okay, hopefully with
Yeah.
the broadcast. Hopefully you guys are a little bit more prepared and we can actually see
Yeah.
what's going on.
I mean, that's the hope, right? We've been excited for Fortnite Esports. Finally, the league is starting to kick
Catch
off and get
up,
rolling, and the first
snowball.
event is just a blank.
Nothing.
So
send us
hopefully
your
we'll get a chance.
videos.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
what we want to see.
And we'll get a chance to discuss that a little bit more over the course of the week. But hey, we're going to keep talking and filling for the rest of the day. That's going to be it for today's show. Thank you so much for watching. I am Dom, CEO of Butts and Sons.
Well, I'm Sierra, co-owner. For more updates in gaming esports, tune into the Esports channel Monday through Friday. Have a good night and GG. Nice. Thank you.
You can do it.